Awesome. Hey everybody. So, test 1 2 1 2. Awesome. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about the weather in Lenape, or what I'm going to call Lenape Intermediate Lesson 2. There is an intermediate Lesson 1 that's about it's a basically religious text that I repurposed for this because there's a whole bunch, like a wide array of different texts that are in the Lenape text corpus, and I converted it over to Unami, which is what this lesson is mostly based out of. And I'm intending on. I personally want to get as fluent as I can in Lenape because it was the very first like indigenous American language I've ever learned. I did learn a lot of Nahuatl, and then actually went to Mexico and spoke Nahuatl to my teacher for a few days over there. So I've learned a language right from the Americas, but this is the first one I've really gone this far with that's actually in the United States. So the problem with, or I'm not gonna say the problem, but the dilemma with Lenape is that you got the three text corpuses, or rather, you got the three biggest sources. You got the Ontario Delaware Dictionary, which is a complete modern. It's full of modern terminology, and then you have the Lenape Talking Dictionary, which is my most used resource on here, and it's actually already hooked up to LangShack. If you just you could literally click on anything here, just click on Talking Lenape Dictionary, and I have it in here right there. And then there's also the wide range of text that we have, which is where a lot of the text comes from. That's what I've been using and repurposing, because even if somebody learned it and wrote it down, they still use these words and these sentences and text with vibrant Lenape speech communities. So they are valid, at least in my eyes. So we're gonna talk about the weather today. There's a whole lot of different things in here. We're gonna actually like speak it out, like speak the language. We're gonna go from top to bottom. It might take a little while to do this. We may have to break this up into a couple, but I am simply just keeping track of what lessons that I'm doing here. So Lenape 2, Lenape 3. If I got to break this down and take the second half or the second third, whatever we're doing, and put that into a different one, we'll do that. But I just want to track how many lessons that I got to go through myself. I'm just curious how many lessons it'll take to get to really good Lenape. So I already have a basic course, but we'll just go into the Lenape here. So if you want to ask how's the weather, there are two different ways to do that. So the main way in Unami is Kekuhechalapan. In Kekuhechalapan, how's the weather? And you can also say Lakamu. So ta means a whole bunch of different things in Unami. It can mean how, and it's like a special auxiliary verb. It also means to go, and it's also included and required for the front of many verbs. So ta lakamu is like how's the weather, or Kekuhechalapan, right? So if you want to ask somebody how's the weather, Kekuhechalapan. The bun here, this bun right here is the same bun that's in this word right here. So bun is a suffix that you'll use for weather, like for example, mata pan. Mata is bad. So you see here, wala pan, the weather is good. Mata pan, the weather is bad. Kahapan, the weather is dry. It's dry outside. To pan, the weather is cold, etc. So if the weather is a little bit good, right, you can use this word kehiti. So kehiti is a little bit only. So ta lakamil yukwe. How's the weather today? Yukwe is being good. So kekuhechalaban yukwe, or yukwe kekuhechalaban. Kehiti tapan. It's a little bit cold outside today. Kehiti matapan ok sukelan. What I just said there was sukelan is raining. So sukilan. Sukilan, raining. So if you want to say it's raining, sukilan. Sukilan. It's raining. Sukilan. So we're just gonna work our way down here just to keep it easy so we don't have to go back and forth with this. But how is the weather? Ta lakameu. So ta lakameu, keko hechalaban. So I'm gonna ask you how the weather is, okay? And we have some phrases up here. And we'll use this for different parts because we're going to try to make sentences and try to use every term in here. And if you need to go through this a few times, just follow along and keep speaking it out. Then if you practice enough, then a lot of these should start sinking into your head. Especially since I'm here, I'm practicing with you. I'm here right now through the camera live, speaking all these things out. And if you follow along, especially when I ask you the question, Keko Hechalaban or Ta Lakameu, then you can answer with whatever your answer is. So we're going to go down here. So kiji means really, but it can also mean very as well. Or really. Sorry. Very, really, or like. Very much so. It's got a few different meanings. Quite as well. I've seen that. Kehiti is a little bit. And Elinakotru. It looks like it will, blah, blah. It was getting. Alicia Lemikata, which is like, it was like about to intend. That's literally what it means. Like, start, want. So it's basically saying like the sky intended on becoming this way. That's what the Lashi Lemikata literally means. So we are experiencing, so this consists of if you're talking about we are experiencing weather. You can have pun. This pun is the same pun that's in there. And mihana is simply the conjugation for us. The first person plural. So now I want to ask you. So now we have a word. It's sunny. Okay. Also is that sunny. So also, sunny, sunlights. Did I never put anything in here? Okay. Also linda. So also linda. Also, so also is sun, right? Because the lun is another way of saying bun. Bun and lun are the exact same thing. You'll see that later down here in the lesson. Like, for example, Akikolun sleets and it mists rain. Okay, so I'm going to ask you right now. Keku hechalaban. Keku hechalaban yukwe. Keku hechalaban yukwe. Ausalanda. Ausalanda. Is it sunny outside? Yeah. Ausalanda. Ausalanda yukwe. Yes, it is sunny outside today. And Kolchimink means outside. Or Kolchimunk, if you want to use that. It looks like the sun is shining through the clouds. Okay? So Ekosun. So in Ecolson, we know that the alsa is the sun. And through the clouds, with the sun is shining through the clouds, the sun is shining through the clouds. Okay? So Ta lakameo, keko hechalaban, sukelan, it's raining, kumhukot, it's cloudy outside, ok sukelan, it's raining. Keko hechalaban yukwe. Now tell me that the sun is shining through the clouds now. Yukwe ekosana. Okay? Kego hechalaban. It's tell me that it's sunny right now. Ausilanda. Okay? Kego hechalaban. Ausilanda. Okay? Ausilanda. The sun is shining through the clouds. Kego hechalaban yukwe. Hu sukelan. How is the weather right now if it is raining? Tell me that it's sunny. Åselunda. Okay? Åselunda. Now tell me that the sun is shining through the clouds again. Ekolsen. Okay? Ekolsene. Now, ekolsene. Now, another way to say that, if it begins to clear up a little bit more out there, right? So, it was sunny earlier, Åselunda, och alami sukelan, it starts to rain. Alami means to start. So Åselunda, okay? Åselunda. Alami sukelan, starts to rain. Alami sukelan. Alami sukelan. Alami sukelan. Then it rains for a while. Sukelan. Now we start seeing, Talami mushakot. Talami mushakot. It starts to clear up. Talami mushakot. Okay? Talami mushakot. Talami mushakot. It starts to clear up. Okay? So now let's say it looks like we can take the who off, because who means it will. So we say it looks like, okay, Elinakot, it looks like, or it appears, okay, it looks like, all right. So Elinakot, Elinakot mushakot. It looks like it's clearing up. Elinakot, okay? Elinakot. Lina means to appear or to look like. So Lina. And the cult is like basically saying it looks like. Okay? And the cult around that makes it looks like, essentially. It's a construction. Lina to appear, okay? So Elina cult. It looks like it will, okay? Now tell me that it looks like it's gonna be, tell me it looks like it's sunny. Elina cult, Åselunda. Elina cult Åselunda. Elina cult Åselunda. It looks like it's sunny, okay? Now tell me that it looks like the sun is shining through the clouds, okay? Sukelan. Kekuhechlaban. Sukelan. It's raining. Sukelan. Okay? Elina called Åselunda. It looks like it's sunny. It was starting to clear up, or it was getting clear, right? Alami kata ekosana. Okay? It looks like it's clearing up. Elina kot ekosana. Tell me how you would say it looks like the sun is shining through the clouds. Elina kot Åselunda. It looks like it's sunny. Ekosana. The sun is shining through the clouds. Okay? Now that the sun has been shining through the clouds for a while, right? Ekosana. Sukelan oknane. Oknane. Talemi ekosana. So it was raining, then it started to the sun started to shine through the clouds. Yukwe lekikui. Right now, Yukwe lekikui mushakot. Right now, it's clearing up. Okay. So how would you say ok means and? I mean, if you're in this intermediate too, I assume you know at least some Lenape or a little bit of Lenape. So the sun is shining through the clouds. So how would you say the sun is shining through the clouds and it's clearing up? Ekosune, ok. Ekosune ok mushakot. Ekosune ok mushakot. Okay? The sun is shining through the clouds and it's clearing up. Okay? Now we're gonna do something a little bit crazy. Okay? So we're gonna do this cult here, okay? Mushakot tummy hana. We are experiencing weather that is clearing up. Okay. So we don't need to practice that one. But it's just that's more for me. Alright. So now we're gonna get into weather. We're gonna get into winter weather now, okay? So now we have some basic vocabulary words, okay? We have Elinakot. It looks like it's, Elinakot, Alashi Alami, Kata. It was getting. Okay. Alashi Alami Kata. It looks like it was getting. It looks like the snow. It looks like the snow. It looks like snow is coming, or it's getting snow. Like it's getting snowy. Like snow appears to be coming. So Alashi means like. Alami means to start. And kata means to want. Okay. So Alashi. So let's say the weather is cold. Okay. The weather is cold. Tupan should be tupan. Weather is cold, right? I should have put that at the top. I didn't think about that. All right, let's do this. Let's do cold. Tech. Oh, I didn't even put that in here. Okay. Well, I know that for a fact that tupan is it's cold outside. Okay. So let's say Kekohech laban tech. Kekohech laban tepan. Tepan. So the bun. Remember, bun is for the weather. Okay. Bun. You can put that at the end of any adjective that doesn't have a cult at the end, because cult is like it looks like this, right? Or it's another suffix that you can add to make an adjective descriptive. Okay. Because musha comes from the word mushak, which means the sky. So mushakot is essentially just saying it looks like the sky, which is it's clearing up. It's starting to look like the sky actually looks. Mushakot. So you could say I don't know. I'm assuming you could say musha pan mihana. Kamusha pan mihana. We are experiencing clear weather. Okay. So I'm going to save this right here. It is clearing up. All right. It's clearing up. All right. Now we're going to continue. So a lot of these, I don't even know any of these myself in this section. These are this is completely new to me, except like lingde, which means to melt. Okay, so we're gonna work our way down through here like Pimsleur style, Michelle Thomas style. Okay, so we have sleets and mist rain. All right, so there's a couple different words for sleet, and akikwa. Okay, so akikwa, sleets or mist rain. So akikwa, Akikwa. Akikwa. Okay, just repeat that after me. Akikwa. Akikwa. Okay, Aquikalan. Aquikalan. Okay, Aquikalan. It is sleet to mist rain. So how would you say that the rain is like, that it's sleeting outside? Or that there's misty rain? How would you say that in Lenape? Keko hechlaban. Keko hechlaban. Ta lakamil. Akikulan. Akikulan. Akikulan hech. Oh, it's sleeting. Okay. Kolchemund Akikulan hech. Okay. Akikulan. It is sleeting outside. It's misty. There's misty rain out there. Okay? Now, this next one is a little bit longer, right? But don't worry. We're going to break this down, all right? Don't be fooled by the length of the word, all right? So first, we're going to save this word here to our... Well, I'm going to save it to my vocabulary. This is going to be sleet or misty rain, right? All right. Now, sleeting or hailing, all right? So here we have Shekani, okay? Shekani or Shekani, doesn't matter. The K's are usually pronounced like ga. It's a little bit closer to a ga than it is to a ka, but that's the spelling convention that they use. So Shekani, we can assume that it means sleet or hail, some kind of triangle or some kind of solid water coming down from the sky, okay? I know hail's not really water. Hail's whatever hail is, I don't even know. Shekani, so, and then the mihula, okay? Hula is simply a suffix that refers to something that's in movement or it's happening actively. Usually. That's what it appears based on how it's used. It refers to like moving parts, something that's in motion. Okay? And that can be for abstract things or for humans. This is just based on what I've learned so far about this suffix. Okay? I might be kind of wrong, but I know it has something to do with movement. Alright? So shekani. Okay? Let's just practice the words. Let's just practice breaking this down, okay? Because it's not that complicated. Shekani. Shekani. Okay? Shekani. So Shekani. 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 Okay? Shekani mihule. Shekani mihule. Shekani mihule. Okay? So now I'm going to ask you how the weather is, and I want you to tell me that it's hailing. Okay? I want you to tell me that it's hailing. That it's raining and that it's hailing, okay? Remember, rain is suke. Okay? Suke or soke is the rain, okay? So sukelan. Sukelan, okay? Ok shekani mihule. Okay? So you can look at this when you say it, okay? That's the point. Practice. We're here to speak Lenape. That's what we're here to do. Speak Lenape. All right. So keko hechlaban nuke. Sukelan ok shekani. Okay. Shekani mihule. Keko hechlaban. Sokelan og shekani mihule. Shekani mihule. Shekani mihule. Okay? Say it. Say it faster if you can. Shekani mihule. Not everybody's going to be able to say that, but if you break it down, Shekani mihule. Shekani mihule. Shekani mihule. And you can take your time saying it, because the more you say it, the better you'll get with it, and then the faster. And relax. You don't gotta relish. You don't have to rush. You don't have to stress out. This is supposed to be a fun lesson. Okay, we're here to speak. All right. Alenixitam Lenape elixit. Let's speak Lenape. Okay. So I'm going to ask you again. How is the weather? And I want you to tell me that it's sleeting. Okay. instead of hailing. I want you to tell me that it's sleeting. You can use either of these two. You can say akikwelan or shekani mihule. It's up to you. They both mean sleeting, okay? So here we go. Keko hechalaban yukwe. Keko hechalapan yukwe le kikwi. Yukwe shekani mihule. Yukwe shekani mihule. Yukwe shekani mihule. Okay? Shekani mihule. Ahkikwelan. Ahkikwelan. Okay? Ahkikwelan. Keko hechalaban. Akikwelan. Keko hechalaban. Akikwelan shita shekani mihule. Hech. Is it sleeting like misty rain? Or, because shita means and, shita means or. Shita means or. Or is it sleeting like hailing? Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, how's the weather? And I want you to say that it's hailing, okay, not misty. All right, so you'll respond with, what do you think you'll respond with? Okay, Keko hechalaban, shekani mihule, shekani mihule. Okay, shekani mihule. All right, now we'll go ahead and save this. Shekani mihule. Sleeting or hailing. Shekani mihule. This is making the word stick to my mind pretty well. Now, the word for hail. Okay, this word, I'm gonna let the native speakers who say this one, because this is one I'm still trying to get. Okay, so we're gonna use this here. Oh, okay, we're gonna let native speakers say this because I cannot pronounce this right now. You see that? Muhukome. Muhukome. If you can try to combine that, and it's fine if you say muh, right? Eventually, if you practice muh and huh, and you keep practicing that, you'll eventually be able to say both of them combined. Okay, so muhukome. Muhukome. Okay, let's listen to this again. Muhukome. Muhukome. Okay, muhukome, and that's just a noun. Okay. Now I'm going to teach you a new word, which is not in here. Hate. Hate means there is or there are. Okay? So I'm going to ask you how the weather is. All right? Hate. Right? Hate. Hate. I'm trying to think of something simple. Simple word. Okay, yeah, ice on the ground. Kun. Kun. Kun means ice. Okay? Hate kun. Or kun hate. There is ice. Okay? Gun hate. Gun hate. All right? So now I'm going to ask you how the weather is. Okay? And I want you to tell me that there is hail. Hate. Okay? Hate. Like, it looks like hate. But it's hate. Hate. Okay? So like I said, Keko hechalaban. Hate muhukome. Hate muhukome. Keko hechalaban. Hate muhukome. 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 Hate muhukome ok shekani muhule. There is hail and it is sleeting. There is hail and it is sleeting. Okay? Sleets and mist rain. Akikwelan. Akikwelan. Okay? So akikwelan ok shekani muhule. Nane muhukome hate. So I just said there is misting rain, it's hailing outside, and there is hail. Okay? Akikwelan ok shekani mihule ok muhukome hate. Okay? So now we're going to save this word here for hail. Okay, and it's important that if you're following along with this, which I'm sure is going to be after I do this because there's nobody actively joining these sessions at the moment that I know of right now. Perhaps my friend Jasmine is. I don't know. But there's probably not a lot of people learning Lenape right now. But if you are, this is an opportunity for you to join. Join in the comments. Go to the forums on LinkShack and practice this stuff. You know, if we need the Telegram channel or a Discord server to practice speaking out our lessons, speaking Lenape, so we can actively speak this out, then we can do that as well. Okay, but what's important is that we speak this language and we have fun speaking it. Okay, so aki kulan. So let's go. Let's review our vocabulary so far. Okay, because there's some things up here that you may have a little bit of trouble right now. Okay, and it's going to take some time because I'm learning this too. Okay, so Elina Kot. It looks like it's Elina Kot Åselunde. What does that mean? Elina Kot Åselunde. Elina Kot Åselunde. It looks like it's sunny. It looks like it's sunny, okay? It was getting cleared up. It was getting cleared up. So Musha Kot. So it was getting cleared up, okay? Sukelan ok Alishi alami kata mushakot. So let's say, how was the weather today? Okay, let's do a quick practice section. Okay, let's say, how was the weather today? I'm gonna say, how was the weather today? How was the weather today? Kekuhech laban. Now I want you to say, it's rain, or it was raining, which is the same as sokelan. You could say sokelanip if you want to say specifically it was raining. Just add a eep at the end of anything, or ape or eep. It's up to you. Or up if it ends in a vowel already. Okay, and I want you to say it's raining. Okay, so kekuhech laban. It was raining, and it started getting cleared up, or like it was getting cleared up, or it got clear, right? Kekuhech laban. Sokelan, it's raining. Sokelan, ok, alashi, alami, kata, mushakot. Alashi, alami, kata, mushakot. It started to clear up. It was raining and it started to clear up. Sokelan, ok, alashi, alami, kata, mushakot. Okay? And alalan means it stopped raining. Because ala means to stop doing something, or to cease to do something, or to quit. And the lun from sokelan, so usually in Lenape, when you combine words with other words, you take the last syllable off of the word. So the lun from sokelan, and then you attach it to ala. So alalan means it stopped raining. So so if I could say, kekuhech laban, sokelan ok alalan. It was raining and it stopped. You could say that if you want to. Or you could use more vocabulary, and I could say kekuhech laban. Sokelan all Åselunde netami. At first it was sunny, so netami is like at first. So Åselunde netami ok talemi sokelan. It started to rain. Talemi sokelan ok alashi alemi mushakot. Okay, so it started to rain, and then it looked like it was clearing up. Okay, and ekosana, the sun is shining through the clouds. The sun is shining through the clouds. Ekosana. So I'm going to ask you one more time, how's the weather? And I want you to tell me that you can see the sun shining through the clouds. Okay? Kekuhech laban. Ekosana. Oh, ekosana. Okay. Ekosana. Nane choniti Åselunde. So what I just said, choniti means soon. So I just said, soon it's going to be sunny. Okay? Åselundech. or asalunde, because the ch is a future tense particle. Okay, so keko hech laban. How is the weather? Keko hech laban. Ekosane. It started clearing up. Ok. Ok. Talemi. Yeah. Ok talemi also that, and it started being sunny. Okay. So now we're going to continue down here. So Akikolan. Remember Akikolan or Shekani Mihale. So Akikolan. So we have Akikolan and Shekani Mihale. Okay, Shekani Mihale. Akikolan Shekani Mihale. Sleets and miss rain, and it's hailing. Okay. And then Hate. You remember Hate? Hate, there are Hate. Hate Mukame. Hate Mukame. Mahukame. Alright. So now there's a lot of different, it seems like there's a whole bunch of different ways to say, a whole lot of ways to say there's hail. Hail. So this one, there is hail or frost all over. Okay. So the hun at the end here gives it this like wide thing. Because one hun means the wind came from somewhere. So this hun already is going to signify that it's something. It's something that covers some area. Okay, Winchi hun, it came from there. So Alpelukui. So Alpelukui, could not tell you what that was, but let's see if we can find out right now. Alpelukui. Let's see if we can find out what Alpelukui is. Okay, Alpelukui. Okay, not sure. So it just means that there's, so Alpeluk or Alpelukui. Alpelukui. So Alpelukuichen. So Alpelukui. There's a frost all over. It can mean a white frost, like the ground is just covered with frost. Alpelukuichen. Okay? Alpelukuichen. Waki hakamike. On the ground. So Alpelukuichen. Okay? So to make a better dialogue out of this, let's do Wina. Okay, Wina is a really easy word, okay? Or you could say goon. But Wina refers to the fact that it is actively snowing outside, okay? Or that it snows. Or you could say Yushe. You could say Yushe Luwani. Luwan. I forget how they put the locative after that, because Luwan means wintertime. I know there's a way to say in the winter, but I can't remember how to say it. So Luwan, we could just say Luwanink, in the winter, okay? Luwanink Wine. So Luwan is winter, Luwan, and then Luwan, the ink at the end of a word means in, right? In or on. So Luwanink, Wine. Luwanink Wine. So Wine is it snows. Wine. Okay. Luwanink Wine. So Kegohech Laban Luwanink. Or Luwanink Kegohech Laban. Wine og Opalukwichen. Okay, it snows and there's frost all over the ground. Okay. So I'm going to ask you now, how is the weather in wintertime? And I want you to respond, it snows. It snows. That's all I want you to say. Wine. Okay? Kegohech Laban Luwanink. Kegohech Laban Luwanink. Mechate? I'm just kidding. That's snowy. Wine. Wine Hetch. Does it snow? Does it snow? Does it snow here? Does it snow right here? Yushe wina hech? So kego hech laban luwanik. Wine. Wine ok gun hate. Wine ok gun hate. Okay? So what I just said there was it snows and there is ice on the ground, or there's snow on the ground. So kun means ice or snow on the ground, okay? Hate, if you remember hate, there is or there are. Okay? So wine gun. Wine ok gun hate. There is snow, or there is, sorry, I can't say that. I can't say hate wine. Hate kun ok wine. There's snow on the ground and it generally snows, okay? So gecko hech laban luwanink. Wine ok gun hate. Okay? Wine ok gun hate. Ok opelukwichen. Opelukwichen. Okay, so I'm going to ask you now, how is the weather in the wintertime? And I want you to say, it snows and there is frost all over. If you want to say everywhere, you can say wemili. If you want to say everywhere, just say wemili. All right? That if you just want to extend your vocabulary. Wemili. So I'm going to ask you how the weather is in the wintertime, and I want you to say, it snows. It snows and there is snow all over the ground. Okay? Kego hech laban luwanink. Kego hech laban luwanink. Wine ok ope lukwihan. Okay? Kego hech laban luwanink. Ope lukwihan ok wine. Ok wine ahi. It snows a lot. Okay, ope lukwihan ok wine. Okay, so we're going to save this. There's frost or there's hail all over. And if you want to say everywhere, you could say, or I could say, Keko hech laban luwanink. Wemi li ope lukwihan ok wine. It snows everywhere and there's frost all over the ground. Okay. So there is frost, hail all over the ground. Okay. And we're going to play games with these words later, at least. Maybe not this recording, but I'll be recording it. I'm going to record everything I'm doing in this language, so it doesn't really matter. You'll see everything. And then wine is it snowing, okay? And what I want you guys to do after this, if you have an Instagram or a TikTok or something like that, what I want you to do is I want you to get on these social media platforms. I want you to create stories, and I want you to make reels, posts, even if you're just making a post with writing on it. Try to record your voice speaking some of these things out about wintertime, right? Ask somebody how the weather is, right? Just talk about the weather in your area, right? So you could say, Keko hech laban yushe. How's the weather right here? Right? Keko hech laban. How's the weather? She keko hech laban. Wine ok kun hate ok opelukwichen wemili muhukame seaconk. You know, there's hail in springtime. Shekani mihule akikwa akikwilan Sikonink, there's a lot of sleet and mist rain, and it hails in springtime. Hate muhkame, Albelukwihan, there's hail and snow everywhere. Wine, it snows. Kun hate, there's ice, there's snow, all of that. Just practice, just say stuff. Just use these languages because they're begging to be brought back. These languages want to be spoken. Trust me. They want to be spoken. That's what they're here for. It's ice, snow on the ground. Kun, Now this next one is going to be pretty cool. So you're gonna see kashi. You're gonna see this kashi a lot. Okay, kashi is something that it's a prefix that deals with strong stuff, right? So kshachen is strong wind. So kshachen, strong wind. Kshiwine, strong, heavy snow, or you could use it for a blizzard, perhaps. You could say matapan, or kshiwine. It's kind of storm. Basically there's a blizzard outside. It's snowing really hard. So kshiwine. Okay, and if you want to practice these, you can always put any of the words we're going through here that are spelled with these diacritics. You could always put it in to the Delaware Tribe of Indians Lenape Talking Dictionary in here, and every single word in this dictionary has audio. And you can see how that, if you listen to the words closely, especially of speakers like this who actually spoke Lenape as their first language, you will see that the stress goes usually on the penultimate, or the syllable before the last. So, abelukuichen, okay? Abelukuichen, wiene, muhukame, shekani mi hole, akikwelan. So this one is literally strong kshi, wiene, to snow. So strong snow, blizzards, a snowy squall, which nobody says. Kshi wiene, okay? So I'm gonna ask you how the weather is, and then remember, she means shita or she. Shita or she means or, okay? So I'm gonna ask you, how is the weather? And then I'm going to ask you, is it snowing hard or is it just generally snowing, okay? So remember, generally snowing is wiene, and it's snowing hard is kshi wiene, okay? So, kego hechalaban, yukwe. Wiene, shita, kshi wiene hech. Is it snowing or is there a blizzard? Wiene shita kshiwine hech. Wiene shita kshiwine hech. And I want you to say it's snowing hard, okay? Kshine. Or mechate. There's a deep snow. I think mechate is more of like there's more snow that accumulates, whereas kshiwine is just it's snowing really hard, right? So there is a difference between those two. Okay. So mechate. Okay, so mechate, deep snowing. All right, and then kshiwine, snowing hard. And I'm gonna make a text after this just to practice. And I'm also gonna make a video on my Instagram page, my Link Shack Instagram page. I'm gonna practice this stuff as well. Because I'm learning Lenape. I want to speak this language really well, so I can speak it really fast in reels, and maybe have some conversation with some of you guys. All right. So now we're almost done with this section here. We're probably gonna have to break this up because this is already 50 minutes long, and this is probably gonna take several lessons to go through. But we're also just starting this language, so we have to add a lot of vocabulary, and I've been dying to learn vocabulary terms for the weather in this language forever. So, all right, so hapelukwichen. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you some questions, and I want to test your understanding. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask you some questions. Okay. I want you to tell me. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna move this out. Actually, can I do that? Yeah, I can do that. Okay. I'm gonna quiz you, okay? And I'll give you the answers as we go. I just want to try to make this a little bit challenging. All right. So, how would you say that it's sunny outside? I'll give you a hint. It has ose in it. Ose. Also. So Keko Hechalaban. It's sunny. Also, and you remember that suffix that goes that you can put after anything? Pun. What's the other one? Lun. Lun Alselunde. If you got Alselunde, you're right, okay? The next one. Let's talk about how do you say to snow? To snow. It looks like something that you drink, but it's not. Weene. Okay? Weene. Imagine you're pouring wine onto some snow, okay? Weene. Okay? Now, if you want to talk about if you want to say that the snow is heavy, how would you say that? Mechate or kashiwine? Is mechate a deep snow or is it kashiwine? Mechate, okay? Mechate, deep snow, okay? Mechate. And what is kashiwine? 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 So you know wine is the snow. What's the kashi? What's the kashi? Strong, okay? Kashiwine, it's snowing strongly, okay? Now, there were different ways of saying hail, okay? So, these ones are a little bit more difficult, so we're just going to practice these, okay? Those are just the most common ones, all right? So, Alselunde, you can use it all the time, Alselunde. You'll be using wine all the time in wintertime, kashiwine, and kashiwine is only important because kashi, right? The kashiwine, kashachan, it's windy outside, strong wind. Okay, so how would you say that it's sleeting, right? Sleeting as in hailing. Shikani mihule, right? Shekani mihule. Okay, remember mihule. You remember the hule. The hule is movement. Okay, so shekani mihule. It's actively sleeting. Okay, shekani mihule. Now, if you want to say that the rain is misty, okay, how would you say that? Akik kwalan. Okay, so to make it easier, you could take the lan off. You could say akikwa. A lot easier, huh? Akikwa. So you could say akikwa. If you want to make it easier for yourself, you could just say akikwa. Okay, akikwalan. All right, akikwalan. Now, if you want to say there's hail as an adjective, remember how to say there is or there are? It looks like the word for hate. Hate. Okay, so you hate what there is. Okay, hate muhukame. Hate muhukame. There is hail. Hate muhukame. And the other noun that you could say with hate, gun hate. There is ice. There is snow on the ground. Gun hate. Okay. Mechate. Gun ok mechate. Ice in the deep snow. Okay. Now, how would you say that there is frost or there's hail or there's a white frost everywhere? How do you remember how to say everywhere? Wemi opeluquichan. Okay? Opeluquichan. Okay? Opeluquichan. Okay? Opeluquichan. Okay, opeluquichan wemili eli mechatape. There was a deep frost because there was heavy snow. Oh, I'm trying to remember the word for yesterday. Lokoe? Not sure. Don't take my word for that one. As a matter of fact, we can look that up. I'm not embarrassed by it. I don't really speak Lenape that much. Like, I don't use the language as much as I should. Is it yesterday, Lokoe? Because Lokoe might mean evening. See what they say here. I put it in the wrong. I always do that. All right. Give this a minute. Yeah, Lokoe. Wow, I remember that. Yeah. Okay. Lock away. So it sounds like walk away, but with a L. Lock away. Or lock away. You could think that you're locking away something yesterday. Lock away. Lock away. Okay. Lock away. So lock away. Lock away. Lock away.